皆さん、こんばんは。私はアーサーで3年間くらい日本語を勉強しています。このビデオは、マックスですのビデオバトンの返事です。そのビデオバトンの質問は、なぜ日本語を勉強していますか？では、私はなぜ日本語を勉強していますか？実はある日、商店にいました。そして、日本語の教科書を見つけて、本当に日本語を勉強することができるかと思いました。そこから日本語を勉強し始めました。Okay, so that was my Japanese. Now I'll give you a little bit more in-depth explanation. Maxdesu. Yeah, when I was younger, I also used to like to draw anime and manga, and that got me interested in learning Japanese. But really, when I learned Japanese, it was almost like my eyes were open. For those of you who don't know, the sentence structure in Japanese is almost completely opposite of English. So in order to say, I went to school yesterday, you don't say I went to school yesterday. You say I yesterday school to went, which can be very confusing. So yeah, when I started learning Japanese, it's like my eyes were open. I started thinking in different ways, realizing, hey, people don't always think in subject, verb, object sentences. And I started to get more creative, and I started to, just see things from multiple perspectives. I mean, I grew up in Germany, and so I was around foreign languages. I can speak German, not fluently, but easily. And yeah, so I guess that was a precursor to it, and because I started to learn Japanese, I started to learn other languages. So in school, I'm taking French and Spanish as well. I want to take Greek outside of school. Yeah. Basically, one thing I found that's great about Japanese that has kept me learning it is not only its complexity, but just the fact that people are so happy. Well, Japanese people are so happy when you're learning it. This year, I went to Japan for the first time in my life. In July, I was there for an entire month, and the people were so excited that I could actually speak their language, and they were so nice. And I realized, language brings people together. If I didn't know how to speak their language, they probably wouldn't have been able to convey their niceness, if you want to say, as much as they could have. Yeah. And so I realized, the more languages I learn, the more people I can speak to, the more ideas I can share. Another cool thing about learning Japanese is that, you're able to kind of understand the culture a little bit, why people are so hung up on honor and respect. It's because it's built into their own language. They have 4 honorific levels. You have 食べる、食べます、あげる、召し上がります, which means all to eat. They're just different politeness levels. It's really amazing that that people start language and they focus on these different areas that we would never even think of. And I realized with every single language I learn more about the culture, and it makes more sense to me why the culture is the way it is. I can understand why Japanese people now are really creative and artsy, and why they are so focused on the details. And honestly, it gets me excited, and I want to learn more. I'm actually teaching after school club in my high school on Japanese, so that I can so I can teach, and hopefully these students will grasp a love for the language, and a love for the people, and a love for the culture, like I did. Yeah, and this video is short. I guess this is my reason for learning Japanese. I don't have a really long explanation, but hope this will suffice. またね、マックスです。